Hello, people. Welcome back. Today, I want to talk about the situation at Langston College. Um, I had um, I had saw a posting about the 5% graduation rate before I went on my little vacation from vacation, and um, and I kind of forgot all about it. But I see people have been talking about it, and I'm not gonna do a video on the actual step and stuff that they was doing in the auditorium because that's thing about what everybody mainly talking about is that how can you have a I get to trying to say that those activities are more important than you actually graduating, doing your work and stuff. So that's why they've been concentrating on the videos, the stepping and all that stuff. But I got two issues with that anyway. But first, this him will probably give you a good understanding why they have a 25% graduation rate.
Story tonight. Frustration is growing at Langston University as students and staff deal with the impact of underfunding.
We're told there are several issues with infrastructure keeping students out of the classroom. 2 News Oklahoma Steph Mansion went there today to hear from students who are dealing with these problems firsthand.
For the last month, life at Langston University has been filled with uncertainty. Issues with things like air conditioning and water outages have students and staff bouncing back and forth between in-person and virtual learning.
I was kind of sad because it reminded me of back in high school during the COVID era.
Learning online, Joseph Dixon says, just isn't the same.
For me, college, I've used it to build connections, to find out who I am, figure out my purpose of why I'm here in school. I'm not getting that through Zoom.
But that's what most of this semester has consisted of for Dixon and his classmates. Since the first day of the semester, these issues with buildings on campus have created a cycle of classes moving to Zoom, coming back after a problem is resolved, and going back online when another issue arises.
I'm fortunate enough to go to college, and that opportunity alone is enough for me to be like, okay, be grateful for what you have. But at other times, it's a bit frustrating because I paid to be in person.
Student Ambassador Christian Gause has had direct conversations with Langston's president and says the university is not to blame for the frustration he and other students are feeling.
From an administrative perspective, where the school is at, we've been trying to put basically bandages over problems that we've had for such a long period of time because of the lack of funding that the school has.
That lack of funding coming in at a price tag of more than $400 million.
Putting that into context, if we have $400 million, we can not only expand our programs, but we could fix some of the buildings that have been having electrical issues. We could expand our sports programs. We could expand our CAF and just overall have a better college experience for some of the students here.
As these students tell me they're just trying to get their degrees, they also call on elected leaders to step in and restore the funding they have been promised. At Langston University, Steph Mansion, 2 News, Oklahoma.
We start.
Okay. And that's it. Finances, facilities, all type of things can be the cause of a low graduation rate. Resources, things like that. I know I attended the HBCU for a year before I transferred to Bama. And I can tell you, after going to Alabama, comparing the two colleges, it's like night and day. I mean, the emphasis on awareness and timeliness and providing you with the resources that you need to accomplish your goals in college, it's not the first thing that it's not. I put it like that, it's not high on the menu at a HBCU college, but at least not at the one I was in. I don't have anything nice to say about when I attended that black college. And like this story mainly is around about the 5% graduation rate. And I think I looked it up. It's more like 25. I guess same thing when it comes to graduation. I mean, what the other 75% doing? Because I know personally, when I was at that college, some people would just come long enough to get the financial aid and leave and be out the door. But the main thing about this video past couple of days is that the step, people always showing the video with I guess the Greek line. I guess when they cross, they have the stepping ceremony. I'm probably not saying it right, but when I was at Alabama, I used to go. My wife, the girlfriend at the time, she attended a different college, but she liked to go see stuff like this. So we used to go to the Ferguson all the time and watch whenever a line across. it really was my thing though, but she enjoyed it, so I just sit there and watch it. And then when I first started the video, I said there were two things that I thought was troubling. Yeah, the graduation rate was bad, but these women go watch the video. Just type in Langston 5% graduation rate. It'll take you to another video. The news segment that I showed on my video. The women are just unhealthy. I mean, they are huge. I'm just being honest. They are freaking huge. When you're in college, those are supposed to be the best times of your life. You're supposed to be in shape. I know some people just born with the thickness, I guess, but y'all, those women are huge. I mean, when I was in Alabama and the line used to come across, most of the women are thin. You might have one or two. I mean, the deltas, the AKA, they're all thin and healthy women. These women are not healthy at all. And like I said, this college, these should be the best years of your life. And they are absolutely huge. But I know that's it. I'm off the topic of the 5% graduation rate, but I think it's more like 25%. I mean, but then again, you got to blame it on the students. A 25% graduation rate, that means that a lot of students aren't graduating. Because you're going halfway and leaving, finishing at the end and not graduating. Sometimes things happen. Because I know when I was at Bama, I had to leave. My mom got sick. I had to leave for a little while. And then a lot of times people just don't go back. And then a lot of times you get burnt out. I made the cardinal sin. As a matter of fact, a lot of things in college, people tell you these things before you even start that journey, but you don't think it happened to you. I was told specifically, do not go to school year round. You need to take that summer off. My first year, I took the summer off. But I think I met my wife that summer. I mean, before that summer. So I went home for a little while. Then I went back, and I figured, well, since I'm there, I'm just gonna go to school year round. I mean, just go to summer school. And so I did this every year. So I was going to school year round. And by that third year, I got burnt out. I don't know if you ever been burnt out before, but when you get burnt out, I mean, seeing a school book, thinking about school, my fact just being on campus just makes you sick. I mean, I detested it. I had to get away for a while. I had to leave college. It got real bad. I broke. Didn't have no finances coming in. Like I said, a lot of things can lead to you the graduation rate not being what it should be. And on the HBCU, aren't they publicly funded? The graduation rate should be like at a certain percentage in order to get those funds every year. I mean, I don't know. I didn't research that part. But yeah, a lot of things determine whether you finish or not. And see, when I took that little break from college, I ended up getting a job. And I started making some money, just a little money. It wasn't nothing to write home about. And then I got another job where I'm making some real money. And so I'm sitting there thinking, man, I need to go back to school or I need to sit here and start, making money. And then that job and the money I made from that job, I started living the life that come along with that money. And so I had bills, rent, and all that stuff, and not going back. I was gonna do it online. Then I started thinking about it. I said, well, my what I was trying to get a diploma in was too broad. I should have been a little bit more specific in a certain area. But anyway, it turned out for me. I'm doing pretty well for myself, even though I didn't get that degree. Now, that's one thing I really regret. I wanted to get that degree, but as time went by, I mean, you can do it online, I guess, but with my job and the time it takes for me to, work and get home, do what I have to do around the house. I mean, the day's over. My job, I know people always talk about they got a, 9 to 5 that people say? We don't do 8 hours. I say, I get up around about, 6, get around about 6 o'clock. mostly 5:30, so I can work out in the morning. In the mornings, go to work and get home by 7 or 7:30. That's every day. That's more than an 8-hour workday. When you do this every day, I mean, your body. Sometimes you just be physically exhausted. I don't have a demanding job. I mean, it's kind of demanding, but not. I'm used to it. But it just, man, actually, it's not the job that's just mentally draining. It's just all the hours that take away from you doing something else. If I would go to work at like say 8 or 9 and be up at 5 o'clock, 5:30, those would be great. That would be great, and making the same amount of money. So but like I said, hey, things happen in life. Hopefully you can recover from the mistakes you made. But yeah, 5% graduation rate. Yeah, that is kind of big. But I say it's 20, more like 25. I hope it's 25. Cause 5%, that's basically the kids are there just to get their money to the university. And there are always problems with. Okay, let me tell you something about black colleges. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm talking from my experience. When I went to that HBCU, the only reason why I know the difference because when I went to Alabama, things were totally different. I'm gonna say for my financial aid, for example, when I was at that college, I got my financial aid refund back 2 weeks before the semester was over with. I kid you not. When I went to Alabama, I got my financial aid refund the summer before school even started. Books and everything. I get all my money, everything. So when school started, I was ready. When I was at that HBCU, hey, I was using other people's books. I mean, that's just how it goes. And then this how bad it was. So I was complaining about it. I go to the financial aid office, tell them, I don't have my books, I'm having to do this and this in order to get by. And after doing that a few times, one of the people working in the office was shuffling through her on her desk, and all my financial aid work was right there on her desk, just sitting in the pile. And that's why I didn't get my money till later on that semester. Facilities are old, it's trashy. And if I have a good relationship with somebody and they tell me that they're gonna send their kids to HBCUs, especially the one I went to, I always tell them. I say, that might not be a good idea. If I were you, I'll send them somewhere. Send them somewhere else. I detest Auburn like a sickness. But I tell someone send their kid to Auburn or Tennessee or somewhere like that. Alabama. Because I know exactly what they're going to get and how they're going to be treated. But the people I've told that, other than if their kid was on like a scholarship, I said, well, you take the scholarship, you get a chance, you get a free ride to go to college, go. Everybody that I've told that story to and gave them that advice about going to that school, every last one of them, within a year, their kids was at that school. Every time. It is what it is. If I had a kid, I'd send them to Alabama with a heartbeat. I don't care what it take. I make sure they get into that school or somewhere, a big time school. Because once you go to school like that, like when I was at Alabama, I was just mainly around black people all the time. I pretty much know what to expect. No variations in culture, anything, But when I went out to Alabama, you get to be around different people. You get to see different cultures, and you get to experience things that you want to experience if you're just around the same group of people all the time. So I think now that was some valuable lessons learned when I went to Alabama. Train of thought, how you think, your outlook on things, how you study, how you receive things, how you speak, this is your overall outlook on life, how you your outlook on other people. It's just different. I think I learned a lot by going to Alabama. Anyway, this video too long. It's 14 minutes. But anyway, I don't really as for the low graduation rate, like I said, a lot of things determine that. A lot of times it's the kids. You know, by the time you get to 4 years or 5 years of college, you might be drained. You might be drained financially. You might just be burnt out, or you just find out. Sometimes you get halfway through and realize college is not for you. Yeah, a lot of things can determine that. But I won't just equate it to just kids just going having a good time. People gonna pledge. I mean, I was online pledge camper when I was at Alabama, but after doing it for a little while, I was like, man, I could be somewhere studying. So doing this, so I got off the line. I had a friend who was doing it with me too. He got off too. He wasn't doing too much studying. But yeah. There's problems at Langston University and obviously with the news report. But I will leave it right there. I'm not gonna be too harsh on them. Because you don't, unless you're there in that situation, you don't know what the problem is. It could be a lot of things, but anyway, if you have some comments on the video, like it and subscribe. And I'll see you on my next video. Y'all have a good one.